Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I would like to welcome you all for His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj's daily call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Today's class is on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 1 and verse 16, and will be given to us by Her Grace Sridevi Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. And all glories to you, Mataji. When you're ready, let me know. I'll start my screen share. Are you ready? Okay.
Yes.
All right,
My
perfect.
humble obeisances to you, Sukhavaha, and to all of you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya ivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shall I start with the prayers?
Yes, you can do, Mataji. I'm just trying to share the screen. I don't know why is it not doing it.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So we have reached a very, very interesting turn in what is happening with Vidur, which is the verse we are going to speak on today. It is actually a lesson for all of us that path of bhakti is never easy. Hmm?
Mataji, shall I
Even in the
share this?
Bible,
Sorry.
even in the Bible,
Can you see my screen, Mataji?
Yeah,
Sorry.
but it's not expanding. You have to expand the browser, I think.
Oh, is it not? Okay,
Yeah.
let me stop share and reshare it. Okay, give me 1 minute.
so while we are waiting for that, I wanted to reiterate that
Yeah.
we are at the very interesting point
Okay, perfect.
in the life of Vidur, and it is a lesson for all of us because reverses will happen. This is a given. The Bible says the path of the righteous is strewn with thorns. Huh? What does that mean? It means that we cannot expect life to be a bed of roses. We will have thorns coming. The path of the righteous is strewn with thorns. So we can expect that it will be difficult. Why? Because Krishna wants us to completely let go of any illusion that this material world is a nice place. The whole purpose of creating this material world is to teach us that this is not your home. Your home is with me in the spiritual world. Okay, I'll just take my medicine. Give me 30 seconds. Thank you. So the verse goes like this, which you can see over there. Can everyone see? Swayam dhanurdvari nidhaya mayam bhratu puro marmasu taditopi sa itam atyulbana karnabaner gatavyatho yad urumanayanaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thus being pierced by arrows through his ears and afflicted to the core of his heart, Vidur placed his bow on the door and quit his brother's palace. He was not sorry, for he considered the acts of the external energy to be supreme. Purport. A pure devotee of the Lord is never perturbed by an awkward position created by the external energy of the
Mataji,
Lord.
Hare Krishna,
Huh?
Mataji.
Huh?
There is a background noise coming from your side. Is it possible to?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so
Okay,
much.
let's go to a quiet place.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Sorry to disturb you.
Can you hear?
Yes, you. I think your screen is frozen again. Hare Krishna. It seems we lost her.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, Mataji, I can hear you now. Yeah. I think
Okay.
echoing.
I'm
I
so
don't know why.
sorry about. Yeah, I lost you for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We are on the purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. A pure devotee of the Lord is never perturbed by an awkward position created by the external energy of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita 3:27, it is stated, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. A conditioned soul is absorbed in material existence under the influence of the different modes of external energy. Absorbed in the false ego, he thinks that he is doing everything by himself. The external energy of the Lord, the material nature, is fully under the control of the Supreme Lord, and the conditioned soul is fully under the grip of the external energy. Therefore, the law of the but due to illusion only, he acting under such influence of the external nature by which he would be vanquished at the ultimate end. He could not accept the sound advice of Vidur, but on the contrary, he insulted that great soul who was a well-wisher of the whole family. Vidur could understand this because he was a pure devotee of the Lord. In spite of being very strongly insulted by Duryodhana's words, it's open. The room is open. You can go get it. Sorry. Duryodhana could understand this because he was a pure devotee of the Lord. In spite of being very strongly insulted by Duryodhana's words, Vidur could see that Duryodhana, under the influence of Maya, the external energy, was making progress on the path towards his own ruination. He therefore considered the acts of the external energy to be supreme. Yet he also saw how the internal energy of the Lord helped him in that particular situation. This is very compelling. I'm going to read it again. He therefore considered the acts of the external energy to be supreme, yet he also saw how the internal energy of the Lord helped him in that particular Vidur was never attracted by the royal palace of his brother. He was always ready to leave the place and devote himself completely to the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Now he got the opportunity by the grace of Duryodhan, and instead of being sorry at the strong words of insult, he thanked him from within, alone in a holy place and fully engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. The word gata vyatha, without being sorry, is significant here because Vidur was relieved from the tribulations which trouble every man entangled in material activities. He therefore thought that there was no need to defend his brother with his bow because his brother was, now who is his brother? Dhritarashtra, was meant for ruination. Thus he left the palace before Duryodhan could act. Maya, the supreme energy of the Lord, acted here both internally and externally. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale श्रीमते चंद्रमौली स्वामी नीति नामिने नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति विदते देवादि पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे. So we can see over here, Vidur is a perfect well-wisher. He is a real well-wisher. Why? Because he is a pure devotee of the Lord and he has no personal motivation in giving that advice.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Seems internet is not very nice on that side.
What distinguishes
Hare Krishna,
devotees
Mataji.
from non-devotees?
Hare Krishna,
This is the
Mataji.
difference.
Hare Krishna. We are losing you, Mataji. Couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Yeah, after the prayers, we couldn't hear you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We're losing you a lot.
You're losing me a lot?
Yeah, because after the prayers also we could not hear anything, Mataji.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to sign out and sign in again. Give me 3 minutes.
That's
I'll
fine.
go to another place.
Okay.
I'll go to another place. You can play the kirtan meanwhile.
Kirtan in the meantime. Yeah, sure. We'll do.
Sorry about this.
No, that's
extremely sorry.
That's fine. No problem, Mataji. Thank you for taking this much of the time.
Hare Krishna. My apologies, dear devotees, for the poor sound. Hopefully, I am back in my room where it should be better. But let me know if it doesn't work, okay?
No, it's perfect now, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we'll begin all over again. So I had finished reading the purport. Did you hear the beginning when I said, the path of the righteous is strewn with thorns? We cannot expect life to be easy in this material world. That's not going to happen. Huh? Even the Bible says that our path will be strewn with thorns. So life cannot be a bed of roses here because it is designed like that. This material world has been designed to give us troubles endlessly. Durga Devi is there with her trident, constantly poking at the living entity to move towards Krishna by giving trials and tribulations. Huh? What are the three? Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidaivika. These are the three kleshas of the material world. And they constantly are pushing us towards Krishna. So Maya is actually our friend. Srila Prabhupada gives a beautiful description for a cat. For the kitten, the mouth of a cat is not fearful because the cat picks up the baby kitten in her jaws, but the kitten is safe and secure because he knows this is my mother. But that same cat, if a rat is in the jaws of a cat, it is death for the rat. So that's the difference. Because the devotee takes complete shelter of the Lord, he is completely protected by the internal energy of the Lord. While those conditioned souls who think that they are the lords of material nature, they are independent, they can do everything. See this description, Gunai Karmani Sarvashaha Ahankara Vimudhatma. False ego. I am the doer. I am the controller. I am the richest man. I have defeated my enemies. I have amassed this fortune. I own so many buildings. I am the proprietor of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am the controller. All these are the illusions of the material energy by which the conditioned soul is entrapped. He is fully under the control of the external energy, but not realizing it, he thinks he is independent. What independent? Can he stop himself from growing old? Can he stop himself from getting diseases? Can he stop himself from having accidents and dying? No. So where is the independence? This is all an illusion. But the devotee knows fully well, I am simply under the control of the Lord and helplessly at the mercy and depending on the Lord completely for everything. Because any moment, anything can happen to me. The external energy is constituted like that. Therefore, my Lord, I want to take full shelter of you so that I constantly remain in my position, which is that of your servitor. I am not the controller. I am not the enjoyer. I am not the doer. I am not the proprietor of anything. You are. That is your position. And my position is simply your servant. So therefore, devotee is always ready under any circumstances to serve. So we can see over here, Duryodhana was very arrogant because he was a prince. And he was also very handsome. He had a lot of abilities, talents, skills, qualities. But he was under the influence of the external energy. He was full of lust, greed, pride, envy. He hated the righteousness of the Pandavas. He hated their good behavior. And he was always trying to see how he could usurp the kingdom by killing them. He had no compunctions in arranging so many ways and means to kill them. So that extent he was willing to go in order to enjoy what he thought was enjoy the kingdom that was rightfully belonging to the Pandavas. And of course, Krishna, who is the supreme controller, knew very well what Duryodhana was trying to do. So many saints and sages, not just Vidur, came to advise him. Even Dhritarashtra, at one point, he asked Vedavyas, his brother, to give him good advice. Vedavyas said, Rishi Maitreya is coming, he will give him good counsel. When Rishi Maitreya came, it is said in the Mahabharata, and gave this good advice, do not make war with the Pandavas, make peace with them, because otherwise you will be ruined. And he went on to describe how powerful Bhima was. He killed Jarasandha, he killed Hidimba, Mighty Rakshasas were killed by him. Kirmira, some other Rakshas, whom that story I don't know, were killed. And so you have no chance because they're very righteous and they're very formidable. You know what Duryodhana was doing while the sage was talking? He was drawing designs with his foot in the ground. He wasn't even paying respect to the sage. And after the sage finished speaking, he slapped his thighs with his arms as though to show, I don't care for your words, and didn't say anything. The Rishi got so angry, he cursed Duryodhana. You will be killed because of your arrogance by Bhima in war. He will break your thighs and finish you off. Dhritarashtra pleaded with Maitreya, please, 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 said, well, my curse can only be modified if they make peace with the Pandavas. Otherwise, ruination. And he went away. But Duryodhana could not care less. He did not heed the words of many well-wishers who had told him, this is the wrong path you are on. This is how powerful the external energy is. Same with Ravan. Vibhishan told him. Maricha, whom he went and told him to come back in the form of a golden deer, he says, you don't know whom you are against. This is the Supreme Lord, Lord Ram. I myself was almost killed. And he gave up all his demoniac activities and he was a retired demon in the forest. He was quietly leading his life, not wanting to have any more demoniac activities. But Ravan went, found him out and told him, you become Maricha and become a golden deer to attract Sita. And if you don't do it, I'll kill you. So Maricha started thinking, death is inevitable now for me. Better if I die at the hands of Lord Ram and gain at least liberation rather than die at the hands of this demoniac brother of mine, cousin of mine. So this is how powerful the external energy is. It puts you into the illusion of thinking you know best. You know better than anyone else. Same with Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu was so powerful, so blinded with his own power that he could not heed any of the words of Prahlad Maharaj. At one point, when he asked Prahlad Maharaj, where do you get your power? Prahlad Maharaj answered very truthfully and innocently, my dear father, from where everyone gets their power, including you, from Lord Vishnu. That was enough to set him off. He was so enraged. He says, Vishnu, my enemy, you're taking the name of my enemy. And Prahlad Maharaj said, my dear father, your enemy is your own mind. There are no enemies except our own mind. And that is a very profound statement. Your only enemy is your own mind. Why? Because this mind has dragged us life after life after life into entanglement. Me and mine, my body. The first illusion is I am this body. The second illusion is all these people are mine. My mother, my father, my brother, my sister, my friend, my relatives, my husband, my wife, my children, my, Maya. That's what it is. The third illusion, all these properties, lands, houses, wealth, bank balance, this, that, whatever, they are mine. Fourth illusion is because I have all these things and because I am the lord of all these things, I can lord it over material nature. And because I can lord it over material nature, 5, I am the supreme. I am the controller. I am the enjoyer. I am the proprietor. So this is how the material energy entraps us into thinking wrongly, therefore speaking wrongly and acting wrongly. So this action and reaction has continued until we don't know how entangled we are. But when we finally come to our senses and surrender to the Lord, that means the Lord's bona fide representative, the pure devotee spiritual master, he dispels our illusion. That is why we say, Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I was born in the darkest of ignorance, but my spiritual master has opened my eyes with the torchlight of vision. I offer my humble obeisances unto him. So this gift of transcendental vision is very rare. And we have received it by the mercy of the bona fide spiritual master. Now, Duryodhana had no such good luck. He was completely illusion. But Vidura could understand that he is on the path of his own destruction. But he also understood that he is being insulted by the will of providence so that he can detach himself and get fully engaged in the service of the Lord. This is another thing, being very, very clear in his consciousness and clear in his understanding of how the energies are working. Vidur could see that this boy, this young nephew of mine, is simply an instrument so that I can get rid of whatever little bit of entanglement is there and leave from here, because this is not a good situation. Before Duryodhan does something worse, let me leave. So because he was a warrior, he had his bow and arrows, he just put that bow down and he left from over there. Who are the other people who took advantage of an adverse situation to become more Krishna conscious, who did not react even when cursed? Can you give me one example who took advantage of whatever was happening in order to become more Krishna conscious? Yamaraj, yes. Yamaraj was cursed to become Shudra. So, yes, he came down as Vidur. I'm talking about besides Vidur.
Parikshit Maharaj.
Haribol! Who said that? Anjali.
Yamuna Mataji.
Yamuna Mataji.
Yamuna Mataji. Yes, absolutely correct. Maharaj Parikshit, he was very powerful. He could have reversed the curse and he could have counter-cursed also. But he chose to accept the curse and took it as the will of providence so that he could detach himself from whatever little entanglement was still there. He was actually pure devotee, but still, he took it as an opportunity to completely detach himself and attach himself completely to Krishna, go back home, back to Godhead. Very nice. Good. So he considered the acts of external energy to be supreme, but he also saw how the internal energy of the Lord helped him in that particular situation. So for a devotee, there are always lessons, there are always teachings happening, and he never gets, what to say, perturbed. Oh, why is this happening to me? Maybe for a few moments or maybe even a few days we may think like that, because we are not so elevated like Vidur Maharaj. But ultimately, taking shelter of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, we will find the way out of that situation, out of that difficulty in such a way that we will become more Krishna conscious. In this example, Lord Chaitanya himself, Srila Prabhupada, he was giving this lecture to devotees in Los Angeles. And somehow, by great good fortune, as I was preparing for this, I came across this particular lecture of Srila Prabhupada, where he's explaining that Kunti Devi is saying, please give me detachment. I am a woman. I'm so attached. I'm attached to my husband's family. I'm attached to my father's family. But I want to be attached to you, my dear Lord. So you know what Srila Prabhupada said over here? Let me read. So bhakti means detachment. Vairagya vidya nija bhakti yogam. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 6 2.54. Bhakti yogam means detachment. Our suffering is due to attachment. Because we are materially attached, I'm desiring so many things materially. Therefore, Krishna is giving me opportunity to try to enjoy that material facility, whatever I want, whatever I desire. Of course, I must first deserve, then desire. Suppose I want to become king. I must have pious activities behind me so that I can become king. But Krishna can fulfill. Whatever you want, Krishna can give you. Krishna can give you even mukti, liberation. Mayavadi's mukti. But he does not give very easily bhakti. That he does not give. When he gives bhakti, oh, that's a special consideration. Because when he gives somebody bhakti, he becomes purchased by the bhakta. Therefore, he considers. He considers because Krishna becomes a tool in the hands of a bhakta. Although he is the supremely powerful, just like Radharani, the symbol of the topmost bhakti, Radharani. So she has purchased Krishna. She has purchased Krishna. She is so powerful. Therefore, Vaishnavas, they take shelter of the lotus feet of Radharani, so that if she recommends, Here is a nice devotee Krishna has to accept. Let me see if I can share screen. Can I share screen, Sukha? Because I'm co-host, I can, right?
You can, I will stop sharing so you can share, Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
all
it will be
yours.
nice for everybody to see these
Yeah,
words.
sure.
Yeah. So, to become a devotee of the Lord, we have to be completely cleansed of all material attachment. That is the qualification, Vairagya. So, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya wrote 100 verses praising Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Out of that, one or two verses are mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which I read out just now, this Vairagya Vidya. We'll look at this verse. Now, the description of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is teaching us this Vidya, Vairagya Vidya. He was only 24 years old, lovable wife, beautiful wife, very serving, mother so affectionate, but he gave up everything and he took sannyas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was Grihastha, he was so much honored that by his only direction with his little finger, lakhs of people would immediately join him. He started the civil disobedience movement, so his position was very respectable. Young man and beautiful, his body. Nobody can compare with his beautiful body. Young wife, faithful wife, beautiful wife. Mother, very affectionate, position, everything, but he gave up everything. This is called Vairagya, renouncement. If somebody has nothing to possess and says, I have renounced everything, what is the meaning of that? If you have something, then you renounce, then there is meaning. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's renouncement is unique. Nobody can give up such happy home, honor, position, affection, etc. everywhere. Advaita Prabhu, although he was his father's age, he was honoring Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Still, he gave up everything. Why? Just to teach us. Just to teach us. Apani Achari Prabhu Jivera Shikshaya. He is teaching the whole world how one has to become detached. That is his personal teaching. How one can become a devotee of Krishna. Now, does that mean everybody should just take off, go to the forest, give up everything? Not at all. We must only take the example. What is that example? I must see everyone in my family as part and parcel of Krishna and serve them accordingly and not consider this one is mine. That feeling of possessiveness, that feeling of lording it over others, that must go. And instead, we must see how can I serve this soul who has come as my husband or wife or daughter or sister or whatever it may be. Then we are rightly situated and we will not be entangled in the material energy. This is the solution to feeling, what to say, discouraged. Sometimes we may feel, oh, I'm in family life, what can I do? No, Krishna has given a very beautiful solution for all the situations, and one can slowly progress on the path of bhakti, whatever one's ashram, whatever the situation. Okay, let's go back to the original verse, please, Sukhavaha.
Yeah, I'll share it in. I'll share it back. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, thank you. So Vidur was never attracted because one, he was pure devotee. Remember, he is one of the Mahajans. Who are the 12 Mahajans? Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumara, Kapila, Manu, Janaka, Prahlad, Bhishma, Balir, Vayasaki, Vayam. That is, Vayam means Yamaraj himself, who is Vidur. Now he has come back as Vidur. But he is actually Yamaraj, one of the Mahajans, fully qualified to teach the path of devotional service to the Lord. So he was always ready. He had no attachment as such. He was only there for his brother. He was only there for Dhritarashtra. And he was constantly trying to give Dhritarashtra good advice, but that was always falling on deaf ears. So now taking this opportunity of Duryodhan insulting him so heavily, he decided to leave. He said, this is Krishna's arrangement. This is an arrangement for me to give up all these tendencies and go and increase my own Krishna consciousness. So therefore, he took off and left on pilgrimage. So I want to share with you this particular verse, which will talk about Vairagya Vidya. Okay. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartham Eka Purusha Puranaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dhari Kripam Budhir Yastam Aham Prapadye. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is saying this in great gratitude to Lord Chaitanya. Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is descended in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us real knowledge. His devotional service and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. He has descended because he is an ocean of transcendental mercy. Let me surrender unto his lotus feet. This verse and the following verse are included in the Chaitanya Chandrodaya Nataka by Sri Kavi Karnapur. But in this description, you will see this is actually liberation of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He is overcome by how merciful the Lord is in this age of Kali, how kind he is, how sweet he is, how compassionate he is, and how merciful he is. Because Lord Chaitanya has come simply to give the path of bhakti to one and all, regardless of any qualification whatsoever. So therefore, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is saying, the Lord is very merciful, and I want to take shelter of him because he has come to teach the path of bhakti to all souls, regardless of who they are, where they are, what they are. This is the magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has come to teach us detachment from this material world and attachment to Krishna's service. And how does he teach that? By his own example. How does he begin that? By inaugurating the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna Sankirtan movement, by teaching everyone to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And he empowered his Senapati Bhakt, Srila Prabhupada, who also came down and who showed by his own life's example. He was also Grihastha, he was also a householder, he also had children, and he was also trying very hard to amass wealth. He was thinking, if I get a lot of money, then I will be able to use it nicely in Krishna's service. But Krishna kept foiling all his plans one after the other. Everything started breaking down, and finally the point came when his spiritual master came in a dream and said, come. At first, Prabhupada was horrified. What is this? He's asking me to take sannyas? No, I don't want to do this. But finally, understanding that this was best for him, he took up the sannyas ashram, went to Radha Damodar, and prepared himself for his life's mission, which was to translate all these wonderful transcendental literatures and give it to us in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ishopanishad, Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, then Easy Journey to Other Planets, teachings of Queen Kunti, teachings of Prahlad Maharaj, so many wonderful literatures Prabhupada has given us simply to show us the path back home, back to Godhead, where there is no more birth, no more death, no more sorrows, no more anxieties, no more diseases, no more old age, simply eternal blissful life of loving Krishna in a pure spiritual form. That is what we can look forward to by following this path of bhakti. And Prabhupada said, you want Krishna, you will get Krishna. So let us want Krishna rather than any of the temporary things of this material world, which will never bring any peace or happiness, but will keep us entangled in this material energy. It is not meant for us for any permanent form of happiness. It is only meant to teach us this is not a nice place. So thank you very much for listening very patiently. Sorry for the glitches in the beginning. I really would have preferred that my internet was better and it would have been a smoother presentation, but well, we work with what we have.
No,
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
thank you. That was another your control. So thank you so much for your time and the another energetic, perfect class. It was so good. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, please, if you can, start your video. That'll be so nice. Mataji would love to see you all. Very interactive. And yeah, Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu has already raised his hand. Please go ahead, Prabhuji. And all other devotees, please, if you have any questions, raise your hand or type it in the chat and I'll read on your behalf.
Thank you very much, Sukha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaja. Thank you for your class.
Please accept mine. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev, all glories to the wonderful devotees, online, offline, everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Krishna Kavita.
I have two questions, two different questions. The first one was I wanted to understand a bit more about this situation that Vidura was in before this event in the verse happened, because from one perspective, this palace was very grand, the kingdom was flourishing. There were great personalities there, like Bhishma. There was like great saints and rishis sanctifying the place, giving their wisdom. In one place, it was a tremendously beautiful, wonderful place. But on the other hand, it was a very poisonous place because of Duryodhana and his uncle, mainly Duryodhana and his uncle Shakuni. And they were just, because obviously Duryodhana was kind of the real king, because his father was blind and he was sitting in the palace and he was limited in what he could do, whereas Duryodhana was just taking full advantage and doing everything that he wanted to. And obviously that him being in that position, it was polluting everything. So, but Vidura was a pure devotee. So a pure devotee obviously wants to be in the nice place, where not in that highly corrupt place where you're constantly hearing the poisonous words of Duryodhana. But he must have felt that he cannot leave the palace because he stayed there.
No, it is said here, he was not sorry. See, this is the level of detachment he had already achieved by dint of spiritual prowess. Maharaj Parikshit, was he sorry about the curse? No, he wasn't. He was also young, beautiful, with a big kingdom, with beautiful wives and children and treasury and wealth and immense, access to so much power. But understanding the higher purpose of life. See, this is what we have to constantly, I'm preaching to myself here, constantly keep in our heads, that these things which are in front of me will never make me happy. They will never give me permanent happiness. So Vidur, being already fully self-realized and a pure devotee, he had no moha. He had no, he was not enamored of the palace and the beauty and the furnishings and the trappings and the this and the that, and though he was actually on the same level of a prince, though he could not inherit the kingdom, he was Dasi Putra, he had all the facilities, but he was not attached. And therefore, he was not sorry to leave and go off for a higher purpose. In those days, the kings of old would leave everything and go to the forest for a higher purpose. That is what? To make life perfect, to achieve self-realization, to go back home. Otherwise, why would they leave? Today's politicians, do they ever leave their seats until they're literally, clawed? They're holding on to the keys and we have to prise it out of their cold, dead fingers. It is like they have forgotten the purpose of life, and therefore they cling to power. They cling to all the trappings of power. But Vidur was not like that.
I think I must have misexplained my question or not laid it out very clearly when I was asking. Because
you were saying Vidur must have felt something. You said like that, and that's why that was your question.
He wanted to leave. It's clear from the Srila Prabhupada's purports that he wanted to leave, and that was his chance. But my question was more around, he wanted to leave. Surely he would have opportunity to leave before that incident. but there must have been something keeping him there.
His brother.
So it's
He was
purely his
very much,
brother that was keeping us there.
yeah. He was always ready to leave the place and devote himself completely to the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Now he got the opportunity by the grace of the Duryodhana. You're right. There must have been other times also when he could have left. But this he took as that very clear indication because Duryodhana had insulted him so badly, practically saying that he should be left with nothing but the breath in his body, means he should be stripped of everything. And if it were possible, Duryodhana would have arranged to have him beaten up also. That to that extent he was willing to go. So why be further insulted after being told all those things? So he just left because he knew. And then it is said over here, he thought therefore there was no need to defend his brother with his bow because his brother was also meant for ruination, because he was allowing this boy to continue his nefarious dealings and he was not stopping him. So father and son both were in partnership, so to speak. So he left the place before Duryodhan could act. So your question, there must have been other opportunities. Certainly there must have been other opportunities, but he did not maybe take them out of affection for his brother.
Mm. I feel this is quite important because we all get into bad situations sometimes, and we have to pick: is it appropriate for me to leave or get out of this at this time? And in this situation, Vidura must have tolerated so much for so long because Krishna was insulted so many times. If somebody insults Krishna in front of us, then that's even harder to tolerate, especially for a pure devotee. But he picked that moment when he kind of had no choice but to leave, really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Therefore, he saw that internal energy acting to protect him. He saw it as the hand of the Lord. Devotee always sees the hand of the Lord in every circumstance.
So he's watching. He's more switched on than we are, and he can pick the right moment because he's more connected to the divine energy.
We will get switched on when we actually want that and we are ready to surrender. Then Krishna will speak through the spiritual master. But we are not ready yet. We are still enamored by the material energy. We are still playing around with the toys of this world, isn't it? So therefore, no, I can't give up this, I can't give up that. What do we have really? Tell me, is anything mine? Even my body doesn't belong to me. It belongs to Krishna. So what have we to renounce really? Everything is Krishna's anyway. But still we are so attached. This is mine, this is my pen, this is my pencil, this is my ruler, this is my cell phone, this is my. We are still very conditioned, but Krishna is very merciful in this age, knowing that we are so fallen, so conditioned. That is why he has come as Lord Chaitanya. That is why he has sent his most merciful, saintly Srila Prabhupada to help us, to save us, knowing that we are so fallen. And because Srila Prabhupada is so merciful, we have some hopes, even though it's hopeless.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a nice... that brings me naturally onto my second question. Because you mentioned how the devotee is always fully under the control of the Lord. And he surrendered to the Lord. Obviously, we are not, well, I'll speak for myself because there may be some realized souls in the class, but I'm not fully surrendered and yes. So for me, there will be the level of surrender will be going up and down all the time. And the level of how much we're being influenced by or captivated by the material energy is going up and down in the opposite direction of the surrender. So what is actually happening here? Because Krishna is still there. I remember some of what Guru Maharaj is saying. For the devotee, it's still Krishna that's in charge. But is it just that Krishna is in charge, but we're just ignoring him sometimes?
So what's the question?
I just wanted to understand the state of play, because in that situation, even though there's the material energy was always at play, with the situation with Vidura and him being insulted and having to leave. Vidura was a pure devotee, always fully surrendered, always fully under the control of the Lord. The material energy.
You muted yourself. We can't hear you.
So the material energy is at fire, left, right, and center in the palace. And we're not in quite the same situation. We're not fully surrendered, but is Krishna still controlling us?
So even though we are not fully surrendered, is Krishna
Yes.
fully protecting us?
Yes.
Yes. See the magnanimity of the Lord. Yes, we are not pure devotees. Yes, we are not fully surrendered. Yes, we make mistakes. Yes, we are still prey to the allurements of Maya. But because we have taken shelter of the pure devotee of the Lord, the pure devotee spiritual master, who is giving us instructions how to navigate our lives, because we are acting under the instructions of the spiritual master, Krishna extends his full protection even though we are not fully surrendered.
Okay.
It is only by the mercy of the spiritual master that we are gaining this great benediction of being completely protected by the Lord, because the Lord knows. Let's go to 331 of Bhagavad Gita Sukhavaha.
Yeah,
This point
sure.
will be
Sure, sure.
very briefly over there. Because in the beginning, even though the devotee may not perfectly carry out, okay.
Wait. Yeah, I'm just trying to
331.
get the 331. Yeah.
Okay. No, not Bhagavad Gita. Yeah.
Yeah, Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Chapter 3 and 31. There we go.
Yes. So, those persons who execute their duties according to my injunctions and who follow this teaching faithfully without envy become free from the bondage of fruitive actions. The injunction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the essence of all Vedic wisdom and therefore true eternally without exception. Okay, let's go a little further. Okay, 1, 2, 3, fifth line from top. But an ordinary man with firm faith in the eternal injunctions of the Lord, even though unable to execute such orders, becomes liberated from the bondage of the law of karma. In the beginning of Krishna consciousness, one may not fully discharge the injunctions of the Lord, but because one is not resentful of this principle and works sincerely without consideration of defeat and hopelessness, he will surely be promoted to the stage of pure Krishna consciousness.
Okay.
See how reassuring the Lord is. Yes, in the beginning, you may not do everything properly, you may not fully discharge my instructions, but because you're not envious, because you're not resentful, and because you're acting with firm faith in the instructions of my pure devotee, that means the spiritual master, in time, you will be promoted to the stage of pure Krishna consciousness. Is that all right?
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nice question.
Lovely question. Thank you, Prabhuji. You always ask nice question and we get so much chance to learn it. Bhataji, I've got piggyback questions on Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu's things. First question when Prabhuji asked that Vidura must have had chances to leave his brother. And I can see the most important one was when Pandavas, when the Drut Kira happened and Pandavas were like insulted so badly. And on top of that, Draupadi, who was very dear friend and devotee of Krishna, she was insulted so badly. Why did Vidura not leave that time? That's what always worries me, and that question always stays in my mind, that why he did not. He was angry. He tried to explain, and they were not listening to him. So he could have left them there, no? Or he thought it was his responsibility to be with them and keep them on control or something.
The answer to this is I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know the answer to this question because I have not read in depth about what was Vidura's reaction. Why did he continue to stay? I don't know about those things. They were all under, they were being maintained by the Kurus. Just like Dronacharya didn't say anything, Bhishma didn't say anything. So they were all being maintained by the Kauravas and they had won the match. So because they had won the match, they were the victors. Because they were the victors, they were dictating terms. So everybody was like, what do we do? That was the situation. But why did Vidur not choose to leave at that time? I have no idea. Maybe you'll have to do some research, read up some more in depth to find out.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much.
I wish I knew, but I don't.
No, that's all right. That's okay. Definitely we need to do some research on that one. But yeah, dear devotees, any more questions? This is such an important topic of learning how to surrender ourselves and how to live in this Grihastha ashram, because we've got loads of flows anyways, and we make so many mistakes as well. But Krishna, so as you described, Mataji, so mercifully forgives us and keeps us on the right track. So yeah, we're so grateful to him
Yeah,
for
it's
that.
like this, your little baby boy or girl, do they
Hmm.
learn how to write perfect cursive writing right from the beginning? A, B, C, D is every alphabet. No, they make squiggles, they make, doodles, and they say, look, this is A, this is B, and mama says, yeah, nice, nice. But only slowly, slowly, the unsteady hands become steady, and then you get a perfect A and a B and a C. And so that's how we learn reading, writing, everything. So similarly, in this Bhakti Yoga part, we are just like babies. We are just crawling. What do we know? But does the Lord reject us because we are just neophytes? No. He still extends his love. He still extends his position. Why? Because you have come to the right position, which is what? Surrendering to the Lord by surrendering to the bona fide spiritual master. And the Lord takes that very seriously. Yes, this devotee is completely useless. He's idiot, he's moron, he's fool, he's ass, he's everything. But because he has come, because he has understood his position and he has taken shelter of my pure devotee, he's willing to follow the instructions of my devotee. Therefore, I will give him all shelter and protection. See how merciful he is. I may be
Jai
idiot
Jai.
number one,
I
rascal
know we
number one.
are.
Still, but still he gives his love and protection because he wants us to come back home, but he wants to see all of us happy. Now you're a mother, Sukhavaha. If your child had to be in some distress, you will feel even more distress, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
Because what is the nature of a parent? Oh, I want my baby to be happy. I want her to be joyful. I want her to be blissful. I want her to be nicely taken care of, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, more than the child, the parent feels more distress, helpless watching the child distress and suffering. So, imagine how Krishna must be feeling.
Yeah, true. That is so true. Same point. Divya Mataji has asked a question. If it is
Huh?
okay, I can read on her behalf. Hare Krishna Mataji. I hope you're well. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Maharaj. What does our surrender to Lord why does our surrender to Lord fluctuate depending upon our material and spiritual duties that we have to perform each day? What this roller coaster ride is there? So she's just asking about the same thing, that why our devotion and
Ups and downs.
faith fluctuates.
Why do we go on this roller coaster ride of sometimes being in bhakti, sometimes not? Because we are attracted. We are still looking there. We are still looking. One eye is over there. Ah, nice ice cream. Ooh, so good. I forget, my doctor has told me no ice cream for you. Not good for you. It's not good. Your health will go down. But that desire to enjoy, my tongue wants to taste that ice cream. So then I go running, get an ice cream without anybody looking, have the ice cream, and after that I suffer. After that I suffer and think, oh no, why did I eat this ice cream? It's not good for me. Yes, come in. प्रसाद में इसका ऑलरेडी ठंडा हो जाएगा ना बेटा? बात चाहिए क्या आपको? हाँ 7 o'clock. ठीक है, मैं तो कवर कर दो. कवर तो है बट पापा ठंडे हो जाएंगे. नहीं नहीं ठंडा नहीं हो जाएगा. इधर रख. Thank you, Himanshi. वापस ले आओ गरम करके. नहीं, this is fine. This is fine. Anything else for this? I'm good. Thank you. Sorry, no problem. Yeah, so because we are still attracted, we still think there's something there for me. There's something there for me. When I came to Krishna consciousness, I heard this. There's no happiness in this material world. I said, no. This is not true. This is not true. It's not true for me at least. I will prove this rule wrong. I was so arrogant. नहीं ऐसा कैसा हो सकता है? God wants me to be happy. He doesn't want me to be miserable. Huh? What is this? There's no happiness. Of course there is happiness and I want to be happy. Boy, all the things I tried, I don't even want to tell you. Until finally I surrendered to Guru Maharaj. So the allurements of the material energy are very strong. See, if you have been driving a car in a particular direction, let's say you're going north at 80 miles an hour, can you suddenly turn east? No. You have to slow down. You have to put the brakes. Then you have to turn your car, right? So it's a process. It takes time for us to really understand that my best interest is to stay in the spiritual energy. That's where I'm completely safe and protected, and I don't have these ups and downs anymore. नहीं तो ऊपर नीचे होते जाएगा. The material energy makes a monkey out of us. She makes us climb up and down the roller coaster all the time, isn't it?
Yeah, that is so true. Hope Divya Mataji, this is okay for you. If you have any more questions, please type. Yeah.
Yeah, if
Thank
this
you,
is
Mataji.
satisfactory, you can let us know. If you have further sub-questions or something, that is also all right.
Yeah, Mataji, thank you so much. I'm just thinking, you very well explained, obviously, that we have to stay in the spiritual energy. But these days, I find myself really difficult, to understand that what is right. Do we have to do our material duty first, or do we have to do our spiritual duty first? Because as this book marathon month is going on, it's such an important month that Srila Prabhupada has. And, we are short in the temple in terms of devotees who go out. But then sometimes so every day this is happening. When I go for spiritual duty, my material duty gets really in a problematic, like my son gets into trouble and I find, oh, I'm not a good mom, and I should have stayed. I missed that deadline for him. And if I stay back at my material duty, devotees call me and say that, no, you're not doing the right thing. So it's really happening every day that one day I choose material, one day I choose spiritual, although I am staying in my material or doing my material duty, but then my mind stays in my spiritual activities. So it's really difficult to balance sometimes. And that's why I said, because it's a really roller coaster ride and you don't know what you're doing. Srila Prabhupada sometimes has actually mentioned that, sometimes you have to do your material duty first. But then you feel, no, your need, and you have got a call from devotees where they're asking you to come out and distribute because they need people who can speak to people and who can distribute the books. And this is only the month, we have. But I'm finding it really difficult, as long we are going with this material flow and years, that what is right. Because our
How
material
old is
duty
your
is not
son?
going
How
to.
old is your how how old
My
is your
son is
child?
11, Mataji, 11.
Acha. He's a little bit grown up boy. But who
Yeah,
says
he's
you're
spiritual consciousness boy, but he's also understanding everything. He's happy that it's not a problem that okay, my family is stopping me to go to not do any spiritual activity. But as a kind of human being, you feel guilty, conscious all the time. Then so I'm trying to see
That's
that
my question to
how we
you.
can balance.
Why do you think that devotional service is only in the temple? Why do you think your parenting is not devotional service? That is also devotional service. In fact, for a parent, the most important devotional service is raising your child nicely in Krishna consciousness so that he grows to be a well-rounded um, boy who is, contented and happy and secure and safe and everything. So if you're feeling guilty, if you're feeling bad, that means your child is feeling deprived in some way. He's complaining about some need being unmet, and so on and so on. So your child's childhood will never come again. Well, book distribution will carry on endlessly. Huh? So your child needs you now. Now your baby, your not baby, your son needs you. So you have to do things in such a way that you are there when he comes back from school. You're there to take care of his homework. You're there to attend to his emotional needs and so on. And only when he's in school or when he's not needing you, that time you go out on book distribution. So we have to always balance the things in such a way that those who are helpless and dependent on us do not get neglected or deprived. This is as much devotional service as that. It is not a material duty that it is less in priority. It is as important as any other devotional service.
Thank you so much, Pandit. Thank you so much.
Nah, you don't have to feel guilty. You see, when children are small, they come
No,
first.
guilty in the sense, Mataji, because you are answerable to senior devotees as well, and you are following at their footsteps. And sometimes they feel that, oh, this is Guru Maharaj instructions as well. So you also owe to Guru as well. So these days it's really difficult to balance, and you feel like what is right path, whether material or whether spiritual. And I think I found myself, from past 2, 3 months, this is happening more quite often. Like, I don't know whether I think I tried myself to balance in all those things, but sometimes, you are not in control. So you feel like,
Have you
okay,
written, have you
spiritual.
written to Guru Maharaj about your activities, your commitments, and
Yes,
you
yes, yes.
know,
I have written and I've got the response. Guru Maharaj says that, okay, you are not at any fault. So, and things worked out because as you mentioned, that surrender is the most important thing. That surrender is something not physically done, it can be done mentally. So, I do surrender from my mental level that, okay, Lord, whatever it is, you have to control because Lord tells you when material things go out of your hands. Lord tells you that, okay, you have to calm down in your spiritual life and you have to focus on that. But then when you try to do the material thing, I feel that no, my nature is more of, I have to be with the other devotees and do this activity because, or maybe you are given that alignment of doing that duty. So it's kind of imbalance, and that actually doesn't give you a peace of mind, you know, that how you can progress and
no, no,
everything.
you need to be peaceful about what you're doing. I highly recommend that you discuss this with your mentor. Your mentor is in the best position because she or he is local. They know the situation on hand. They know the other devotees. They know your nature. And they know what is going on. So you must always work under guidance so that you're not, prone to the pullings and pushings of the mind. Mind says do this, then you do. Mind says do that, do that. No, then you will always be in a ferment. Oh, did I do the right thing? Did I do the right thing? And that will keep you constantly on pins and needles, which is not a nice way to be. You need to be at peace with whatever you're doing. So I think it is important for you to discuss with some senior Matajis who have children, who have raised children, and specifically your mentor, so that you can balance everything in such a way that you're not going nuts, Otherwise, when you're on to distribution, you're thinking of your son. When you're with your son, then you're thinking of those devotees. So you're not able to be in the present and give your 100% because you're torn between two things. That's a very difficult situation to be in.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. Sorry for the extra sub questions. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. It was lovely speaking to
No,
you.
this is very important. We are discussing in order to get clarity, to get direction,
Yeah.
to get understanding. So there's nothing wrong in what you're asking. And I'm sure many other mothers will be having the same question. So you're actually doing a benefit to them by asking this question. Don't worry.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Sakhava Mataji.
No, thank you for such a practical question. Good. Thank you so much. Krishna Kaviraj Prabhu, please go ahead.
Thank you. You've been mentioning surrender a lot in this class today and in the discussion, and it's been on my mind a lot recently. So I want to ask, if we want to increase our level of surrender slowly, step by step, then what are the best things or the most important things that we should try and do?
Follow the instructions of your spiritual master to the letter. He's not going to give you fresh instructions until you follow what is given nicely. See, we have to prove ourselves. Just like a teacher, she will not give promotion to the next grade until she is sure the child is ready for the next grade, right? Supposing I'm in grade 5, I have to clear all the exams, I have to pass all the tests, I have to show the teacher that I have mastered the subject matter. Then I can go to class 6. Similarly, if we want to progress in bhakti, we have to make the words of our spiritual master our life and soul and follow those instructions to the complete satisfaction of our spiritual master. Then, seeing that, yes, this devotee has understood that by surrendering to my instructions, he is going to make progress. Now I will give him further instruction. Now I will take him. See, the spiritual master wants you to make progress. The trouble is we don't want. He has to drag us practically. And in some cases, he won't give instructions if he knows that they will be disobeyed because he doesn't want you to make aparadh. Of course, I know that is not the situation with you. I'm just explaining. There are different levels of devotees. One who is very eager to fulfill the orders of the spiritual master because he knows this is in my best interest. My spiritual master has come down for saving me. He has nothing to do with this material. He has nothing to gain. He is, in fact, spending his energies to save me. Prabhupada said it takes 300 gallons of blood to pull a person out of Maya. So how grateful we must be to the spiritual master, how eager we must be to follow his instruction because he's only having your welfare at heart, nothing else. So when the devotee becomes very eager to follow and to fulfill the desires of Guru becomes very enthused to help that devotee more, to make more progress by giving further, like that. And that's how we make progress on the path of bhakti.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome. You're so
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you, Prabhuji, for such a lovely question. I can't see any question on the chat, and I don't think so any hands raised as well. So with your permission, Mataji, shall we end the session because we have been 19 minutes over an hour. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all very much for listening patiently to my rambling. Sorry for all the disjointed presentation. I'm not at my best. I'm still under treatment, but hopefully I will do better in the coming days. Thank you
No,
all so much for your kindly tolerating me.
It was really, really nice class, Mataji. As always, as I say, it's always energetic and very inspiring for all of us. And I'm sure all the devotees will agree to that as well. So thank you
Yes,
so
yes.
much from my bottom of my heart to you for giving your time. And although you're having treatment, that is so, we all appreciate that, Mataji. Thank you so much. And Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Yeah.
our Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you. And Her Grace Sridevi
Mataji, Hare
Mataji
Krishna.
ki jai. Thank you
Jai.
so much.
Jai.
Thank you, dear devotees. And all the assembled devotees ki jai.
Jai.
Haribol.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
And
Thank you.
Sukhabaha
Thank you.
Mataji
Thank you,
ki
Mataji.
jai.
Thank you, Mataji.
No, Prabhuji, I'm nothing. Thank you. It's
Yes,
all your devotees' mercy. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I will end the call now. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you
Hare
so much.
Krishna. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.